And welcome back to part 9. And hopefully the last part, the one of Naruto had the curse mark. Last we left off, the war had started. I had to actually restart this because I had to clarify something that I couldn't remember the order of, but now I did. So we have Naruto, who finally gained control of Kurama's chakra. We have Sasuke, who is still trying to play Obito and basically just playing the part and going for the surgery to have the Eternal Mangekyo implanted. And we have, the war raging. Now, one of the only real differences in the early stage of the war that would happen is the fact that Sai would not have that heart-to-heart with his brother, as Sai is not here. And therefore, they wouldn't learn as early as they did that the Edo Tensei can basically be countered by the soul of whoever it is being relieved, having their unfinished business taken care of. They'd probably learn that closer to around when the Azuma situation happens. Now, you might be asking, well, wouldn't Obito be on to Sasuke? Maybe, but as long as it's fitting towards his plan, I don't think he really cares. Because, let's be honest, it's not like he fully trusted Sasuke to begin with. So I wouldn't say that he would really care. In fact, if anything, he's probably still, just like, whatever. If he's playing me or not, it plays into my head. It all works well. Now, the things we need to not illustrate. The things we need to break down is what happens after the basic part of the war happens. It starts and like everyone is doing what they're doing. Naruto is still on the island. Yamato is still there trying to tell him that the war is not happening. But ultimately they are attacked. Now, are they attacked by Orochimaru? No. I think they are attacked by Kabuto here. And Kabuto he's not the same Kabuto you get in the original series. He's a much lesser version of it. He's a much lesser version of it, but he's still been given things. Been given maybe an extra jutsu or two, maybe enhanced him by Orochimaru. He maybe even was given the snake summoning contract by Orochimaru. But ultimately, he's just not as strong, but he's still got a couple tricks up his sleeve. So he uses, maybe not Manda, but he uses one of the second to third tier snakes to attack the island. Then, the fight goes down. He gets beaten, but ultimately, because Orochimaru and Kabuto are very clever and, plan ahead in many ways, they were kind of assuming to be beaten. So Orochimaru maybe laid something within Kabuto, maybe a seal or something, like something blinding or whatnot, a flashbang of some kind, to basically catch him off guard, break free, and ultimately catch Yamamoto off guard, which then leads to him probably being swallowed by one of his snakes or whatever, and then effing off, which then brings them to Obito, which strengthens the Zetsu clones, and the war continues. Orochimaru, meanwhile, has been is laying in the background like he normally does, and he is basically playing the puppet. He's playing the Kabuto role in the original, minus the fact that he can make clones. And as the fight continues, and Naruto eventually escapes, starts doing what he's doing, fighting alongside whoever needs to fight alongside with. Ultimately, it's not a couple Zetsu clones are watching, but Orochimaru probably takes out the Zetsu clones and just starts smiling. I may not be able to take you right now, Sasuke, but I can still make you mine. And then, his fangs come out. He's about to attack Sasuke, only for him to get... Meanwhile, the real Orochimaru is like... It seems that Sasuke is a little too powerful. It's more powerful than even I imagined. As he skewers him with an Amaterasu Susanoo blade arrow, whatever it was, and he finally just takes advantage of it. I was like, finally I can drop the act, and he heads off towards the battlefield. Meanwhile, you get Naruto, Killer Bee, fighting with Itachi as maybe not Itachi. Hold on, let me back up on that. Basically, Naruto and Killer Bee encountering Itachi. Now, should note real quick, the overall appearance of Naruto in this Sage mode. What does it look like, especially when you're factoring in the curse mark? So he's got a standard one, or Sage mode, his Tail Beast mode. He's got a standard Tail Beast mode. But But he's also got the curse mark he can add onto it, uh, which changes appearance. As I mentioned, it's now a blend of Sage Mode and Kurama. He's got the fox. He's got a fox ears. He looks a bit more like a Kurama. He's even got a couple tails flowing behind him, but they're more for show than anything else. So that's kind of what the design looks like now. Is Itachi capable of stopping or being? Is Itachi capable of getting himself out of the Edo Tensei? That is the question. And I don't know, because I never implied that he implanted the Genjutsu on Naruto. But Itachi, we know, planned a hell of a lot ahead. And even when the plan wasn't going the way he wanted it to go, it was still something that he could use to his advantage. That's why the I don't remember the name of the technique. It's extremely wordy. Hold on, Shishui Uchiha's a technique. That's why, even though he wanted to use that on Sasuke, Shishui Uchiha, there we go. Even though he wanted to use it on Sasuke, it worked out in his favor to be using it on himself. Let's see. The name of the technique was. Come on. Fine. You want to be that way? Fine. We'll go. We'll do the hard way. Okay. Let's see. Sharingan. Mangekyo. Where is Kotomatu Sukuyami. Excuse me. Ugh. So yeah, that's why when he used that, well, it was intended for Sasuke. He used it on himself and broke free of the Edo Tensei. I could still see that happening. He may have still tried to implant it in Naruto if he had the opportunity, which it's possible he might have. Or he might have even tried to implant it in Sasuke. When he knew Sasuke wasn't going to, go evil, he still planted just in case, to trigger upon seeing a Sharingan or something like that. And so their fight would maybe just keep going on and continuing for a while. Naruto and Killer Bee throwing off Susanoo's, Amaterasu's, all that, until Sasuke actually shows up on the field and sees Itachi. He's like, Itachi? Sasuke. And then all of a sudden he activates it in Sasuke's eye, and then he snaps himself out of it. So actually, that could still very much work. Then with the combined might of Itachi, Killer Bee, Naruto, and Sasuke, they... sorry, and there's this reverberation, because this thing really reverberates sound. Ha, ha. Yeah. Ha, ha. Anyway. So they're able to put Nagato down, and then, just Sasuke. How long does it take someone to get out of the clutches of a madman? Hey, it wasn't that easy. Plus, I was able to get a couple amps along the way as he shows off his eternal Mangekyo. I was like, yeah, but you're still. We'd love to stay and brag, but yeah, I know we got a war to win. Indeed. Go help the battlefield. Me and Sasuke will handle Orochimaru. And him and Sasuke, go towards Orochimaru, and they have their conversation. Now, this is where Sasuke does have a bit of a conversation with him. He does ask Itachi, was it true? Did you do what you did for me, for the village? Did you kill them under orders? And Itachi's silent for a little bit and just goes, I did. I love my home. I love my family, but I was not about to let my family... I was not allowed to let anyone, even my family, my loved ones, destroy my home. To have hundreds, if not thousands, dead simply because they wanted power. I was not allowed to let that happen. But you were a young boy, Sasuke. You were innocent in all this. I couldn't let you be a part of it. And Sasuke just, he's feeling sorrow for Morphles. I can't say I don't think I'll ever truly forgive you for what you did, but I won't hold you a ceremony for it. You did what you had to do to protect your home, your family, and everything like that. And while mom and dad might be dead, I can't say hearing what I'm hearing, I can necessarily blame you. I can't say I would have done the same, but still. And so they have that brother knowledge, and finally they show us, Itachi, Sasuke, it's so good to see you. Tell me, are you enjoying my little playthings? It's over, Orochimaru. Is it now? And all of a sudden, the Kabuto shows up, as well as um, team, or at least at least Jungo, who's under some sort of genjutsu. So Jungo, would you please come here, my boy? I was like, yes, sir. What are you doing with him? Unfortunately, Sugetsu and Karin are off somewhere, but Jungo's more than adequate enough for this task. What exactly are you talking? Would you like to know the secret behind the curse mark? It comes from this boy's remarkable genetics. His clan is able to naturally process senjutsu in the environment. Unfortunately, instead of turning one to stone, it has a tendency to drive one a little crazy, and drive one a little insane. And he just activates the full curse form Jugo, who is very freaking powerful, by the way. Like, even though he's not a top 10 powerful shinobi in Naruto, he is by no means weak when he's going all out. I mean, given that he can morph his body, he can morph his body into freaking chakra cannons. That's freaking baller. And meanwhile, Itachi and Sasuke have to avoid not just him, but Orochimaru and Kabuto pulls out the crest. Long sword, you really think you'll be able to stop me this time? There'll be no stopping. And Itachi can't seal him with his Susanoo Tosca blade because that wouldn't stop the... sorry, I just saw a new donut at Dunkin'. That looks really tasty. And I don't like Dunkin' that much. I used to work at a Dunkin' for 2 years. I kind of lost my taste for a lot of the food, but there's a cookie butter one. Oh, I might have to go try at least a cookie butter donut. I digress. So, yeah, I actually haven't eaten much today. I really should eat something. That might be partly why I'm like, huh. But, so Orochimaru pulls out his blade. He can't use the Tusken blade to seal him. He needs to get him in Izanagi. Fortunately, though, he tells Sasuke, it's like, I have a way to get him to force. I can force him to deactivate the Edo Tensei, but I can't. We can't kill him. The other two, though, are expendable if you need be. And Sasuke, I think Sasuke really just, using his Sharingan, just boom, puts Jungo in his place pretty quick, because that was one of the few things that could calm him down. And then just kind of knocks him out. And Kabuto, Susanoo, Amaterasu, Kabuto's doing everything he can to stay alive in this, but Sasuke has no qualms about killing this dude. And sure enough, he ultimately does end up killing him. Madara is ultimately summoned to the field after a good long while, obviously. Everyone's doing their thing on the battlefield. And really, it comes down to the disruption of the Edo Tensei. Does it happen? Well, unfortunately, yeah, because that eventually Orochimaru has to contend with both Sasuke and Itachi. And because of the Izanagi, the way Izanagi works, you really don't know when you're put under the ability. So it stands the reason that he'd still be able to fall under it. This leads to the release of Itachi, the Amateur moment, and him going to the battlefield to help Naruto. Meanwhile, cut over to what's going on with Naruto and the gang. Sasuke would ultimately probably run into Suigetsu and Karin along the way. What's going on with Naruto and Killer Bee? They've probably been duking it out with Obito this whole time, whilst Naruto's new chakra form is a little stronger, adding the curse seal in there. It's still not enough to really be doing much, but this ultimately leads to the coming to terms, the acceptance between Kurama and Naruto. That boom, share the chakra mode, all's well that's good. And then you get a lot of the same stuff going on until Sasuke, including when Sasuke ultimately reaches the battlefield. Now, one of the very big differences here, though, is that you don't have the other Hokages. Minato, Hashirama, Tobirama, Hiruzen. You have none of the Kages, which means the Flying Thunder God stuff doesn't happen. The other half of Kurama's chakra doesn't happen. And this is unfortunately where this what if might go south pretty quick. Because Obito they did still manage, I think they would still manage to beat Obito. I still think that's very possible. But they come to like the brink of death still when Madara gets resurrected. And that's the real big thing, is that Madara would have to be resurrected. Even without the Hokages, I think they're still capable of beating these guys, or beating Obito, and then Obito gets played for a fool, the tail beasts get released, and then Madara's going ham. So the question is, would Naruto and Sasuke be able to survive long enough to... Karin, yes, we know Karin could theoretically keep Sasuke alive for a while. Definitely. But Tsunade, would Tsunade be on the battlefield? Possibly. And Sakura was trying to keep Naruto stable, that we know. And ultimately, Black Zetsu tried to take Kurama's chakra and almost succeeded completely. Even when Minato tried to give his chakra to Naruto, I believe Black Zetsu got in the way of that. I'm going to play two devil's advocates here real quick. I think the likely scenario is either they both don't make it, because there's no Kabuto there to completely save and stabilize Sasuke this time around, and I don't see Orochimaru breaking Izanagi, because he didn't have the same identity crisis that Obito had. Naruto might be able to be saved. But without Sasuke being able to be saved, that really is a problem. The only way it could kind of work out in favor is if Naruto were then to be transferred the Moon Seal where he had the Sun Seal. Hagoromo visits him again like, hey, yeah, what's up? So he died? Can you take this for me? I don't know if that's even possible. But in theory, that could happen. And thanks to Naruto having God knows how many clones, he could actually very easily seal Kaguya at that point. And then they would mourn Sasuke, and I guess all's well that ends well. But if you play the devil's advocate of them being able to get the Sun and Moon seals, then it will pretty much go near identical to how it ended up, where they fight Kaguya. They struggle for a while, but it ultimately ends with them beating Kaguya. The big difference there is you would not get a value at the end fight because they're not at odds with each other. It would just end the way it ends. Kakashi would still become Hokage, waiting for Naruto to become the 7th Hokage, and all's well that ends well. Unfortunately, though, that's the nice ending. I don't see that as the likely ending, surprisingly. Because without any of the Hokages there, a lot of the stuff they were able to do just can't happen. And so, yeah, I actually think this ends on a dark note. I think this ends with Kaguya ultimately being resurrected, or Madara doing his thing in Defense Tsukuyomi. Even if one of them is stabilized, I don't know if one of them alone could beat Madara, even with the Sun and Moon seal on them. So, yeah, and then Kaguya just resurrects, and the world's effed. So, if you want the happy ending, I gave you a happy ending. But unfortunately, Orochimaru being a part of the Akatsuki and not resurrected really puts a hamper on this series. Because Naruto and Sasuke, while basically amped, well, Naruto's a little bit more amped. Sasuke is not so much. He's still the same. So I don't see them being able to overcome these opponents to any degree that they were able to in this, or beyond any degree that they were able to before they both got, their teeth kicked in. So yeah, ultimately, that's my thoughts. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. So that is the end of What If Naruto Had the Curse Mark. I'll admit, because I've had people say this, I start out a lot of my series well, but a lot of my series kind of end on a bit of a choppy note. I'll admit, this one ended on a bit of a choppy note. I'll admit that. But there was no real... Even if I had spent a week trying to write this out, I don't think there was any really clear way to end this. So, yeah. If you want the happy ending, it's there, but I actually think this is a dark ending. I don't think it ends well for them. Now, don't get me wrong. There are scenarios where the Kages don't have to be there and Naruto in the game could still win. Hell, I think the Rinnegan one was one I brought up, I think, a while back, where that happened. Although, actually, I take it back. I think that we didn't even get to Kaguya in this. This one we got to Kaguya. It's one of the only scenarios where I think it actually ends fairly dark. So, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll have a poll for the next 2 suggestions for the Naruto what ifs in the community section. So keep your eyes up for that. Until then, thanks for watching. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time.